Everyone, welcome back to OverVoice Season 2, where I interview voice actors. Here we have Joshua C. Would you like to introduce yourself, Josh?
Sure. My name is Joshua C. I am a voice actor from the Midwest, Kansas City area. I do mostly, remote work. I haven't been voice acting for a super long time. I'm fairly new. I started in around January of last year, getting into voice acting. My background prior is in IT work. I did some IT work for the government. I still do. That's kind of like my day job kind of thing. Um, I'm currently studying to get just like a general liberal arts degree, an associate's. So I'm part-time student, part-time IT, part-time voice actor. Um, Creates for a very hectic schedule, but that's just kind of me. I don't really have too much more to say
Hell yeah,
about me.
a
So
jack of all trades, I would say. Yeah.
I do a
Um,
lot of technical stuff, a lot of computers, I enjoy that kind of thing. So yeah.
yeah, it's really cool to hear, man.
Mhm.
So just to get this question out of the way, because I'm sure you were expecting it. So what got you into voice acting, and what was like your journey like? Because you mentioned that you started last year, so I just wanted
Mhm.
like to know what your process was and stuff. And
Right. Okay. Well, just to give you like a background of like how I ever even got into the idea of doing arts just in general. It's something I was grown up with. So like my mother, she is a pianist, played piano at church, was head of the music department. My sister plays violin. My other sister was in theater and played piano as well. And my dad doesn't really do anything. He likes to joke and say that his instrument is the radio. Um, I mean, just my family life has always been surrounded by the arts ever since I was very, very little. I've always had an appreciation for music, creating music, playing music. I play guitar. I used to play violin. Don't ask me to play violin for you now. I don't remember any of it. I would just end up embarrassing myself, like, "Oh, you played violin? Yeah, I played for 6 years. Okay, can you play the violin?" Eh, Meh, kinda. I play guitar now. That was one of the things I taught myself like over COVID. But I've always had an appreciation for the arts. Now, when it comes for like specifically for acting, my biggest influence in acting was my sister. She's a theater major, and she's been acting since she was in high school. There's a big gap between us. So one of the things about me, I'm adopted, so there's a pretty big gap between me and my older sisters who are blood related to my family, whereas I am, adopted. So there's like a 6 and 10 year gap. My eldest sister, who's the one with the theater major, she she's 10 years older than me. So I've always kind of looked up to her as like a figure, you know, and she went through theater. In high school, she did a lot of like high school theater. There's this thing where I live called Theater in the Park, which was like a summer production where they would have 6 shows or something like that that they would do over the summer, and you could come in. Anyone that was high school, I think even like college age too, could go into these productions. She did a lot of that. She fell in love with it, and that was kind of my first introduction into arts. Specifically in the acting field, I wasn't super interested in acting though. My focus was always kind of with my singing and my music. That's kind of just been most of my focus in arts until recently. And what got me into voice acting, getting really sidetracked here, but
no,
what
no
got
worries.
me into yeah, what got me into voice acting was over COVID. I prior to that hadn't watched like a whole lot of like animation or anime or like anything like that, not for like a really long time at least. And I pretty much extended, like just exhausted Netflix's catalog of movies and stuff like that, because I just basically watched everything because lockdown, we had nothing else to do. So
Yeah,
I
what
just,
else are you gonna do when you're locked
watched a lot of Netflix.
in?
So I remember vaguely, this was right around my senior year of high school. My senior year of high school is when the lockdowns happened. And I remember my junior year, one of my friends was like, "Hey, have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?" Right? I hadn't. Okay. I was very uncultured growing up. I hadn't seen it. Don't shoot me. I've seen it now. Okay.
Okay,
But
you've seen it now. That's acceptable.
yeah. So I was like, Avatar the Last Airbender. No, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's this cartoon. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch it sometime, because he was insistent of it being like, amazing. I wasn't 100% sold because I hadn't, seen it. I didn't know what to expect. But I was like, okay, I'll put it in my back burner. I'll watch it sometime. So, like I said, at this point, 2020, it's like, I don't know, maybe like June or something, and I'd already exhausted like the entire catalog on Netflix. Gosh darn it. Come on. And I was like, fine, I'll give Avatar The Last Airbender a try. So I sit down, I turn on Avatar The Last Airbender, I get in like 6 or so episodes, and I'm just completely hooked to it. Like, I would have to say that Avatar The Last Airbender might not be the entire reason I got into voice acting, but it was at least the first step that put me there in that direction, because I hadn't thought about when I was thinking of acting most of the time, I was thinking of theater acting because of my sister. Um, and because of that, voice acting wasn't really on my radar a whole lot. But after getting into like through Avatar The Last Airbender, like I was so invested in it. I went from Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, and uh and then from there I like got into anime and a bunch of that kind of stuff. As well as like video games at this time too. I like got really, really into video games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, a lot of the kind of horror games was kind of what I found like I enjoyed, as well as like visual novels and all kinds of things, and lots of exposure to voice acting in a lot of different ways, like a lot of different formats of voice acting. And also at this time, it's my senior year of high school, I'm trying to figure out, the future of my life and kind of what I want to do with it. And with this newfound appreciation for anime, video games, animation, I wanted to get into art. So I tried graphic design for a bit. I hated it. That's another story for another time. It's not for me. If you're really good at graphic design, good for you. I am not. I found that out the hard way really fast, actually. So I went from one art, it's like, okay, I can't do graphic design. What else can I do? And I kind of sat back and I reflected and I was like, over my life, what are the skills that I've acquired that I can use to get into what was formerly a hobby into a job, basically? And I just thought it over and I was like, okay, I've been singing, I've had voice training my entire life. Um, I enjoy these video games, but I'm not, a programmer. I enjoy movies, yada, 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 all these things. What is like a common denominator that I could pull out from it? And I ended up settling on like, well, I can act. I know how to use my voice. Why don't I try voice acting? Now, I didn't know where to start really. I didn't know how to meet anyone because I live in the middle of the Midwest. There's like nothing out here, right? There's literally, if I go outside, there's a cow. Like there's cows across the road and
Hey,
fields, and that's it. That's it. There's just a bunch of fields. So it's not like I can just go run and find a voice actor and be like, hey, can you talk to me? I didn't necessarily have that luxury. So what I did is I started in January. I had a friend who lived in Texas, who was really well acquainted with the Texas voice actors, knows a lot of them. And I kind of just like asked him a question. I was like, hey, I don't know if necessarily you're qualified to speak on this or not, but I just want to ask you, like, I'm thinking about this voice acting thing. Um, what does this entail? And he ended up having a really good conversation with him, and he kind of quelled some of my fears that I had going into it. Like, um, I mean, I was basically going into something I had no idea about any of it, basically, and was able to like help me through it a little bit there in the beginning, and then through that, I made a Twitter account. You can follow me on there, ShinkUC There's a little plug. Um, I started a Twitter account, and then I started following people, and I made a bunch of friends, kind of, through the Twitter community, and um, now at this point, in terms of like work, I really only have one piece of work that I can talk about at the current moment, because like I've only been doing this
for a year,
technically
yeah,
getting roles
yeah.
since like May of last year. Like
Yeah.
the first actual established role was in September. So in terms of like work, there's not a lot I can talk about, but that's basically how I got into it. Was I had an idea. I kind of looked at all the stuff that I had done prior and what I was passionate about, and I came to the conclusion that voice acting was something that I might be good at or might enjoy at least. Because something that's really important to me is, yes, I can work a desk job, yes, I can put in the hours, but ultimately I would find that really unfulfilling in life. And
Mm.
I think voice acting is something that I was searching for that could be more fulfilling for me, because it's something I enjoy doing, right?
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of how I got to this conclusion. That's my story, at least. Hopefully that wasn't too long.
Oh no, no, no! Don't worry about longness at all. That was a really good story. I enjoyed every second of it. It was really, really wholesome, and I love hearing
Mhm.
people's different journeys because everyone's journey is pretty much different for the most part. So
Yeah,
it's really interesting like to hear how you tried different things, and you just moved on to voice acting.
right.
A few years later, and you're doing well, man. For a year, you're doing well for yourself, dude. So don't beat yourself up at all, man. Yeah, because I've been doing this for nearly 6 years now,
Mhm.
and yeah, your stuff will definitely come and go. It's just whatever you do through the dry spells and what you do through when you actually get stuff will like define
Right.
you in your craft.
And And to be fair, part of the reason things I think have been slow-ish for me is because, I have to balance like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Because I have school that I have to do, I have my work. I still live with my family, so I have to help with my family. There's a lot of stuff that I have to do like on a
yeah.
regular basis, and it's a good mix. Man, that is really bugging me. I apologize with the
Oh
constant
no, you're
searching.
absolutely fine. Do not worry at all. But yeah, you mentioned two things in before. So you mentioned
Mhm,
your sister does acting. Does she
mhm.
also pursue voice acting or has done voice acting before?
No, she was pretty much exclusively stage. Because of COVID,
Oh
she
yeah.
unfortunately had to stop.
Ah
So she's found a different, economic field now. But prior to um, unfortunately COVID,
yeah.
she was doing a lot of like stage performances, and she also helped teach like youth theater. She was
Oh yeah.
very involved with directing, stage performing, scripting, all kinds of things for youth theater. Um, Unfortunately, I think she'd like to return. I can't put words in her mouth, of course, but things
Yeah.
are, different. It's a hard time for a lot of actors. I've never talked
Yeah.
to her about if she ever had interest in voice acting. I'm not sure. Maybe she would. I don't know. We never had that conversation.
Ah, it's fair
But
enough.
mhm. At the current moment, no. She's just kind of stuck to what she knows, which is,
Yeah.
theater acting. So,
Hell yeah.
mm,
Actually, you're actually, you might be the first person on this interview series where we're actually the same age, or born the same,
oh,
which is really interesting because you
yeah,
mentioned having COVID in your senior year of high school. I had COVID in my last year of high school as well.
hey, they're
So
20.
yeah, man, 21 this year. Oh.
When's your birthday?
June 3rd.
Uh, June 3rd. Okay, so you're a bit older than me. I'm September 5th. So,
Oh, nice. I know a lot.
mm.
Okay, now you're like the seventh person who I know is born on September 5th. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people got busy in February, I guess.
So yeah, you
If
mentioned
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah,
Valentine's Day, but
not true.
uh,
Yeah, you mentioned having COVID in your final year of high school.
yeah.
So yeah, I just want to know like what was that experience like because I imagine it was a lot different to what I experienced. So yeah,
So I went to Catholic high school. The way that it worked there for I don't know, I can't speak to the public school system because I wasn't in it. I was in the private school system, but at least in the private sector for high school, it was, locked down. You couldn't go to physical school.
yeah,
So the way that they did it is all the classes were like what we're doing now through Zoom. So you would log in at your regular class period. You'd get on call, have class would be over, you turn it off, go get Doritos or something, and like relax for 30 minutes before the next class started.
yeah.
And the learning environment was mixed in this situation because it was really easy to cheat.
Oh
It was
yeah,
also And for me personally, I had a really hard time with it because I can't focus on call
No,
enough for like learning a class. Like if you're sitting down and I'm someone who's really math challenged. So
no,
like
same.
math sucked senior year. Yeah, well, junior year cuz at that point it was once this all started it was technically junior year going into senior year. For senior year, we had a conversation. See, my high school experience was mixed at best. Um, and before then, I was homeschooled through grade school, middle school, and I had a conversation with my parents, and I didn't really just want to go back. And COVID was just kind of like the icing on the cake. So I just, for my senior year, just went back into homeschooling. We homeschooling in quotes. I kind of taught myself my senior year. Like we found a curriculum and my experience was pretty much just at home teaching myself because really that was the best thing for me. I there was no way I would have been able to focus on call
No,
for
it's fair.
all of my senior year. Like
It'll-
so that's kind of how my senior year was working my job and then going home and teaching myself my final year. So
Interesting. I mean, let's be real. Math always sucked. Like
oh,
it's
I hate
never been
math.
good. Never
Ugh.
been good.
No, I mean I'm not looking forward to it. Like I have my college algebra credit coming up and
Oh,
I did not want to do that. I thought my last college credit, my last math credit was going to be algebra 2, but as luck would have it, it was not.
I was able to figure out a loophole when I was like, how old was I? Like 17.
Oh
So I
yeah.
was able to get math credits without actually doing math, and that was
Oh,
like, so I haven't done math in like nearly 4 years now, and I'm pretty thankful for that.
do they have like a math for art majors or something like that?
Not for art, but like for science. So I was doing chemistry and
Oh yeah.
biology. So if you did chemistry or physics,
Hmm.
that would count as like a math credit. So
Oh wow, I wish we had that. I really wish we had that because we don't. I would much rather take chemistry than I would math, that's for sure.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not the best at science either, but I mean, I'm leagues better than I was with math. I'd be happy if I just passed math, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Right? Go focus on something more fun. I always loved English class or history
English was
or art, anything, anything but math. Oh boy.
man. Yeah, online classes for me personally, they were it was hit or miss. Some classes were fine online. Some
Mhm.
classes like drama and stuff, it sucked online.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. How would you do drama through this? I understand like doing online voice
Yeah.
acting classes, but drama seems like it.
Oh no, it was bad. We weren't able to do anything of our like actual performance based, so it's all theory based, which it
Oh
can
yeah.
be fun, but like, nah, it wasn't that great. But the only good thing about that was on the last day where lockdown was ending, which was just before my birthday actually. We
Mhm.
um we had like this the last session was just like, fun. We're gonna see each other in school in person soon, so let's make
Right.
some Kahoot. So yeah, that was pretty much
Oh
it.
yeah,
Entire
Kahoot. There you
class.
go.
That was awesome. Um, yeah, but honestly, in terms of like study wise, I didn't really have a that much of a hard time at all. I was
Mhm.
able to do pretty well. Some classes where we kind of just got like, here's what you gotta do. You send off, do your own thing. So I was just doing half of that, and
Mhm.
I was able to do this little thing where I was able to have my screen here, but have like my Nintendo Switch on the side,
Ah.
or like just under the screen. So I was just playing Smash Bros. during
Right.
uh like
Mhm.
like what class was it? It was probably like French or something, but
Oh yeah.
because it
Just
was
off to the side and
yeah, because I already finished all my work, so I'm like just gonna play. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
the first like speaking of that, like the first I don't know, a couple of weeks of lockdown, we at that point we didn't know how long it was going to last. We thought it was just, oh, we're just going to be out for a couple weeks, guys. It'll be fine. We thought we were having the day like time of our lives at that point, the very beginning, because they can't tell. At a private school, you're not allowed to have like your phone outside of your locker unless you get it
Mm,
taken away. We had to pay
yeah.
like $10 to get it back. It was kind of stupid, but it,
To
it
pay
was the
ten
way.
bucks to get a bag?
It's private school for you, man. They don't want your phones outside your lockers because it'll distract you. But I
So
mean, we were having a heyday because they didn't know. They didn't know. We just
so
put
if
like
you
our phones like on our laptop screen. It looked like we were looking into the webcam the entire
strange to
time.
me.
But
So if you get your phone taken away
mhm.
and let's say God forbid you don't have $10 to get it back, is it just gone forever? Like
Until you can get it
permanently?
back. There's like an extortion ring that was going on at my high school. Like people would be out begging for $10 because they got caught. with their phones. Actually, that's kind of a funny story. I have a fun story if you don't mind me
Go
telling
for it,
you
man.
about
Go for it.
about this. So, one of the reasons I never really got into anime or animation was because of an experience, like until later on, was because of an experience I had with this very thing in high school. So I was in the choir, the all boys choir, and I was in the bass section, and this was about my sophomore year. So halfway through my sophomore year, and we would have breakaways with each section in the boys choir, and we would practice together on certain days. And it was one of those days we were breaking off and we were practicing for the bass section, and we were one of the lucky ones. We got the actual practice rooms, which are like little cubicles off to the sides. We were all excited because you're sectioned off and you could you know goof off a little bit if you wanted to. I was a good boy. I didn't want to goof off. I wanted to work, but they didn't care. The rest of the base section didn't care. What's my opinion, right? It was like 1 against 5. So we're all cramped in this little room, and one of them pulls out their phone. I was like, "Hey guys, want to watch some anime?" And I guess everyone else in the base section were weebs except for me. I didn't know what anime even was. I don't think. And they pull it out like, "Okay, let's watch some anime." Like, and they get into this big conversation. I was like, guys, can we like just sing? No, we're watching anime. Fine. So I'm already ticked off a bit. So I just kind of said, whatever they're gonna do, whatever they're gonna do. It's not like I can stop them. So they pull it on, and keep in mind, I had never experienced what anime was before. What do you think high school boys would turn on?
High school boys would turn on something
In
like
terms,
something shonen like Dragon Ball, JoJo,
sort of think Dragon Ball, kind of, but
uh,
there's
Naruto, Bleach.
no
Bleach?
horny high school boys.
Oh, right. Haven't watched
Yeah,
all.
they turn on High School DxD,
Oh my
and
god.
I had never seen any anime before, and I was a good boy. I didn't watch that stuff in high school. And they turn this stuff on, and they're like, "Let's watch this." And I look down at the screen, and it's like just profuse levels of
Oh,
nudity,
yeah.
and I'm just like, "What? You guys watching porn?" Uh,
I
and
mean, it might as well be. It's High School DxD.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, now going back and like it's kind of funny, so I guess that
Mm.
kind of covers it a little bit, but whatever, it doesn't matter. A teacher walks
Oh no.
in our cubicle, and he walks in and he looks over, and there's just a bunch of boys huddled in a corner watching High School DxD on his smartphone, and then there's just me off in the corner on the other side. Like I don't want to be associated. He goes over, the teacher walks over, he looks over into the group, looks down at the phone, doesn't say anything, takes it, picks up the phone. Be talking to you boys later, and then walks out. I never got in trouble for it. I never got in trouble for it. So I got lucky, I guess. That would have been a conversation I would not want to have with the disciplinarian. But yeah, they that was my first impression with anime.
That is the
that.
best sort of
That was
view.
kind of why I was a little hesitant with it, a little bit. But
If
no.
your first anime was High School DxD, that's like not. That's like the worst experience possible.
Oh no, that it spoiled my view of it for a couple of years
Oh
until
yeah, like
Avatar, which
it's
it technically isn't an anime, but
yeah, but let's
at
say
least
anime
showed
style.
me that, yeah, it showed me a side of it that I didn't know existed, because at that point I thought it was just
Yeah, because anime already gets like a bunch of stigma, because Japanese traditions and stuff, about like being really horny, and it still kind of happens in most animes these days. So,
mhm,
and you
yeah,
take a show which has all that like dialed up to like 1,000% for your first watch.
every single trope, right? And again, I only saw like 30 seconds of it, to be honest,
Oh yeah,
but still, it
that's
was
more
30
than enough.
seconds enough to turn me off from the medium for a little bit.
Mm,
But yeah, that's just like a funny story about getting phones taken away and how that kind of changed my view of things for a little bit. But yeah,
yeah,
I like it now. It's not all High School DxD, guys.
yeah. I haven't really finished the series. I've watched like I used to watch it a little bit back in 2016 because some of my friends were into it at the time.
Mhm.
But damn, I don't know. Maybe I shall give another chance at some point. But I'm sure it's worth it.
Here's my opinion on like that kind of thing, if you don't mind me voicing it,
Go
is
for it,
like
man.
It's okay in really small doses because I
Mm,
can only take so much of it. Because I'm not watching it for like bad purposes. Usually I just watch it because it's funny. If I watch something that's like just absolutely emotionally devastating,
mm,
I'll be like, all right, I'm watching one episode of a comedy anime. And like
yeah,
sometimes it's High School Dixie, Konosuba, it could be, I don't
yeah,
know, it could be a whole bunch of things. Oh my gosh, that's really irritating me. But that stupid it keeps searching for my face. But yeah, like I'll watch one episode of that. Like I've never finished the whole season. I just don't care to, but
yeah.
it's okay. You know, it is what it is. If you want to watch it, that's fine. But I can't take a lot of it. I'll take a little bits of it here and there.
Yeah, I like to like have that kind of stuff in moderation, especially with like the more perverted side of anime, because I know with like some fans who watch a lot of it, they get really intense with it. You know, I don't want to get to the point where, no offense, I'm not buying body pillows left, right, and center
Oh no,
around the house.
no.
Just want to keep it.
I mean, the most weeb thing that I've ever done was buy figurines. Like that's as far as I'm ever gonna
Yeah,
go. I'm not buying a body pillow. The only reason I would ever buy a body pillow is literally for the joke.
yeah, that
And then
yeah.
I would immediately throw it away afterwards.
We ended
Yeah.
up for my last year of high school. Me and some of my friends in my drama class, we ended up getting a body pillow by a drama teacher, and we gave it to him as a little present.
What?
I hope he
What?
still. I don't know why we did it, but I hope he still has it. Keep in
I feel
mind,
like,
keep in mind, he just had a child, so
oh no.
it
Oh gosh.
wasn't the best timing.
Well,
But
if you don't mind me asking, was this like a tame one or was this
oh, it was tame. It was tame. Tame. Tame.
okay?
We didn't want to go too far. I think
That
the
would have to be something you'd pull on the last day of class because otherwise you would be in a lot of trouble. I feel like.
it was literally just like a picture and just
Mm.
stretched out for the next.
Oh no, like a really bad JPEG that you just like
Oh yeah,
blew up.
it was absolutely terrible.
Okay, no, that's good. I like that. That's funny. That's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah. There was a lot of pranks. In our in high school for like the last year.
Mm,
One that like one of our divisions, it was like the arts division. So what I was thinking about. So I don't think we actually did it, but
mm.
it would have been so much fun if we one day we go to all the bathrooms and we, you know, that picture of Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, where he's like, "Hey, nice cock." We put it in the
Yes, yeah. I've seen that meme.
we would
Right,
have put
yeah.
it like we would have put him in the bathrooms. It would have been
Like
amazing.
right above the urinals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen people do that before. Right, that's funny. There was never a whole lot of pranks that went on. Mostly because uh they just weren't really tolerated by the disciplinarian
Mm,
staff
yeah.
very well. They did not take jokes ever or like
Oof.
anything. They were always very serious about everything, very stoic. But like the year before I went there, there was one prank, and I think that was the one that like sealed the deal for for like the whole prank tolerance level. Was a group of senior boys went out one night and they took a flamethrower or like a torch or
Oh
something,
my
and they
god.
went out because there's in one section of my old high school there's like a three tiered like outdoor grassy area. I forget
Yeah.
the name of that type of thing. It's not a balcony. Garden. I guess you could call it a
Garden? Yeah.
garden. It was just a big place of grass. They
Yeah.
went to the grass and they like burnt a ginormous penis
Oh wow.
into the grass. And it was so bad that it took like 2 years to grow back.
Jesus, two
So
years?
this is keep in mind this is a Catholic school. So it's not exactly the most appropriate place for a gigantic penis to be in the grass.
Mhm.
So they had to cover it up with tarps for a while, and I think that
Uh,
just the administration was like, you know what, we're done with the jokes, and they put the hammer on it. So, but I guess that's like the only prank story I have. Really,
I
I
love
guess there was.
I love how accessible a freaking flamethrower was
I
in
don't
that.
know if it was a flamethrower or a torch or something, but it was some sort of like flame-inducing material. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, they burnt. It was pretty well burnt. I mean,
Fair
it
play.
took that long to heal the
Two
ground.
years. God, 2 years.
Yeah,
Like imagine
it
getting
was it
new,
was
imagine having
it
like
was
bringing new students like for like a walk-in day or something
oh
and trying to
oh to make
explain.
better, the entire wing is all glass. So you can get like it's like a 360 view or 180 view of just
Oh
that
my
because
goodness.
it's all glass.
Oh my lord.
Going back to the thing, that's actually pretty funny. That was a well thought out prank because it wasn't like a, oh, you just see it by accident. Like, no, you had
Yeah,
a complete view of it at all
yeah.
times.
You
Like you just
can't
look out
not
the
see it
window.
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned this earlier, but you said you played guitar.
I do. Yeah, I do play guitar.
So I'm not gonna ask you to play any songs now because copyright and all that. But I have to know since you can play a guitar, can
Mhm.
you? I just need the confirmation. Can you play Wonderwall on the
Can I
guitar?
play Wonderwall?
Yeah.
I mean, I never went and like actually learned it specifically, but I'm sure I could play it if I
Yeah.
just pulled up like the chord sheet. It's not like a hard chord progression or anything.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's just like
I
every person I know.
conditional yes.
Yeah, like it's always like this thing where like everyone who has a guitar or it's like a thing you have to know how to play Wonderwall or something like that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah. The Wonderwall joke is a thing.
yeah,
The anyways, guys. All right, here's Wonderwall joke.
yeah.
It's a little overplayed at this point, but
A little bit, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I conditional yes. I absolutely could play it. Like I've never
Oh
just sat down and was like, I think I'm gonna play Wonderwall today. But
yeah.
um, most of the guitar that I play is I started learning on electric.
Yeah.
I was super into metal in high school.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. What bands were you into?
Oh, all of them. I couldn't think of the name of like a single band I wasn't into. I just got super into metal. You just
Yeah.
throw out a band, I probably listened to them a lot in high school. But like I tried learning metal, but I didn't really have any money in high school, so I had like a really crappy Strat that was a hand down, and I didn't even have like an amp that had distortion. So like looking back, I wasn't very good. I discovered kind of the fingerstyle acoustic
Yeah.
community of guitar. So fingerstyles, you don't play with a pick. Your
Yeah.
right hand, you play with all five fingers. Well, four technically, but and you instead of strumming, you play all the notes individually. So you play the bass line with your thumbs, you play the melody and the harmonies with your other fingers.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. It plays sounds nice to me. I really enjoyed it because you could play like a lot of like uh pretty much anything can be adapted into this style, like anything from symphony music to like um anime themes if you're really into that,
Yeah.
or just about any pop song has a fingerstyle cover of it at this point. So what I really enjoyed about it was it gave me a chance to play just about anything I wanted to with some practice. I wouldn't say I'm that great considering I'm self-taught. It was one of those things I picked up over COVID when I had nothing else to do, and I would play like 6-7 hours a day
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
it was like I had nothing else to do. I really enjoyed it. I got pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm at a plateau right now because I just haven't
Yeah.
had time to pick it up. I probably
Yeah.
degressed honestly because of how busy I've been. But
Tell,
yeah, I
tell, tell
just
you tell you what.
mhm.
Since as of this recording, you're just about to reach 1,000 followers on Twitter.
Oh yeah, 996.
Oh, okay, cool,
Right.
more to go. So I'm not sure by the time this video comes out you'll reach 1,000 or not. Hopefully you do. But if you reach 1,000,
Mhm.
surely pick up the guitar and play a song. Can be Wonderwall.
1,000.
It can be anything you want.
I don't know about Wonderwall. I maybe there's a fingerstyle arrangement of it that's a little bit more complex. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was trying to figure out what I want to do. I was thinking about doing like a twit longer, but I feel like at this point you've like post a twit longer, people are like, oh, what's the controversy? Like, no, I
Oh
just want to
yeah,
like,
yeah,
because I don't want to pay for like the additional 250 words. Like,
yeah.
but I don't
Honestly,
feel like that's enough to say thank you because
yeah,
I started out with nothing and I didn't think I was going to reach anyone at all. And the next thing you know, I have all these followers and
yeah, man.
I'm super appreciative of it. And I know for like really bigger creators, they say like, oh, 1,000, that's not that much. But for me, it means the world because it means that many people like me enough
Yeah,
to, you know,
exactly. Yeah,
valid. And I just feel really validated by it. And I want to do something special
yeah,
to say thank you. And maybe a guitar cover would be a good idea.
yeah. I hit 1,000 last year actually,
Hmm.
and it's honestly, it's like it's just the best damn feeling. I'm still surprised that this many people still follow me to
Right?
this day. I have no idea what I'm doing here.
I make so many typos on Twitter. I'm surprised people think I'm
Yeah,
not a
same.
bot or something. Like sometimes my typos are like really stupid. There was one I did. Uh, this one's kind of embarrassing actually. It was the day I got this microphone actually.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I used to have an AT 2020, and then I upgraded to this guy because there was a really good sale, and I posted a picture of it, and I said, "Look what came in the mail."
Oh. Oh.
I wrote male as
Oh.
Male, and I got a couple DMs. People are like, "Hey, I don't think you
Yo.
meant to say this," but
It's over,
I was
bro.
like, "Oh, no, I did not." So I went on and I went in. I was like, "Guys, I meant to say Mail," and people were like, "Well, I hope you enjoyed it." I was like, "That's not what I meant." But
Oh
that's my
my
worst
god.
typo. That's my worst
That's
typo.
the best typo. That's the best
That's
typo. All right, so my final question to you, Josh.
all right.
So you've done voice acting for a year.
Yep.
Done pretty well, to be honest. Getting 1,000 in a year, that's pretty impressive feat, man. Like in and of itself, or getting to that. Well, hopefully by the time this comes out, you've long surpassed that at this
Yeah,
point.
maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, but I just want to say, as someone who's been doing voice acting for a year,
Mhm.
um, is there any piece of advice that you would give to like new actors or aspiring voice actors that want
Mhm.
to take it up? So yeah,
As soon as my face decides to come back into focus, so you can
yeah,
see
that'd
me.
be good.
um, that's what I get for fooling with it. There's so much information out there, um, and it can be scary to get into this. And I feel like there's a lot of anxiety that can come into starting anything new. I would say my number one piece of advice: don't worry about gear at the beginning. Don't worry about little things like how many followers you have. Don't worry about the kind of jobs that you're getting. Don't worry about even if you're in getting jobs. Um, Ask questions. Um, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Um, Take classes. Just get to know people, I think is the biggest thing when you're starting out,
Yeah,
because we can't learn all these things on our own.
yeah,
And getting help from other people, especially in a community like voice acting community is, where it's super tight knit, and friendly, and everyone is pretty much on your side.
yeah,
9 times out of 10. Um, just don't be afraid to reach out to people, I think, and don't put aspiring voice actor in your bio.
yes, yes.
That's it.
That's it.
I made that tiny mistake, but I got rid of it really fast.
Hell yeah! Come on.
So yeah, talk to people. Don't worry about stuff. Make mistakes, and don't put aspiring voice actor in your bio. So that's really all I got to say.
Hell yeah! What a lovely piece of few words you got there. And yeah, just to add on to asking questions. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions at all. Um, but yeah, just make sure you're friends with you're friends with the person first.
Oh yeah. Oh
Or
yeah.
like anything. Like don't be like say someone follows you and like, hey, you owe me this, you owe me that, and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no one owes you anything, so don't go around asking people just willy-nilly. Of course, there's going to be some level of respect. Like especially if you're going to conventions and asking people in person.
Yeah,
It's going to be different than sliding into somebody's DMs,
yeah,
you know. Always be courteous. Realize that the people that you're talking to are humans too, and they are not somebody that you just put up on a pedestal and you need to
yeah,
praise and act crazy. It's also not someone that owes you an answer to anything. And if you're going to talk to these people, like he said, make sure you have some sort of like established connection to them beforehand,
yeah,
because it goes different by person to person. Some people are more open to
yeah,
talking to people, some people aren't. And because of that, they're not trying to be rude to you.
yeah,
Maybe they just don't want to talk to you because they don't feel comfortable. And that's okay. Like I said, they don't
yeah.
owe you anything.
Exactly.
So,
It's you should never make friends for the sole purpose of hiring yourself. Just make
right,
friends.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't have much more to add to that. This is
hey,
perfectly succinct.
hey, and with that, the interview comes to a close. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming on. It's been awesome having you. It's
Yeah.
awesome to just speak to in person because
Yeah, I know.
because we were
Last
on
time was in a, call and we didn't really have the chance to talk, but
yeah we were on Marissa's class like of December last year,
mhm.
and you did some really good reads for that, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. I try. I might not be perfect all the time, but sometimes I'm okay.
But yeah, you kind of did it earlier on, but I was gonna do this anyway. But are there any like social medias or any like things you wanna plug right now? I can put it in the description of this video when it comes out.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can find me on Twitter at ShinkUCNNVO. I might change that in the future. I don't know. It's just something I came up with early on. But yeah, Twitter ShinkUCNNVO. On YouTube, you can find me as Shinkyu Voices. Also on TikTok, but I don't know how much longer that's gonna last.
Oof.
Shinkyu
Oh,
Voices.
right.
Yeah, Shinkyu Voices on there too. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm on Instagram too. J_C, which SEE is my last name, Z02. Yeah, that's pretty much all the places you can find me. That
Sweet.
are open to the public at least.
Oh yeah, you
So
see, you hear that, guys? You know where to find him now. But yeah, thank
I
you.
can't hide.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, we'll see you for the next interview. Bye bye.
See you guys.